gentlemen, boys and girls, leaders from all generations, good evening and welcome to the Rundown on Leadership, where we don't just talk leadership, we embody it. I am your host, Amar Deshaun Thompson, and I am so grateful that you are here with us for one more transformational and thought-provoking episode. And boy, do we have an episode for you tonight. Before we go any further, though, we want you to know that we really appreciate the feedback you've been sharing with us on our journey so far. We value that feedback, and we would love to help you nurture your leadership journey. So what do we want you to do? We want to invite you to share your leadership stories with us, the nightmares and the dreams come true. Ask us your burning questions and share your leadership wins with us as well. We're on this leadership journey together, and we want you in the front seat with us for the long haul. So just visit our Facebook page or hit us up on the ZNS digital page on Instagram, or reach out to me personally on Facebook or LinkedIn and share your journey with us. You may just be featured live on this show. As always, we want you to share the wealth. If you're watching us online right now, let us know where you're watching from and share this broadcast with the leaders or aspiring leaders in your life. Don't get better alone. All right, now to the reason we're all here. Tonight's episode is going to be good. Has this ever happened to you? You're driving along in your car, you're talking to a colleague about a hotel, you want to stay out on vacation you want to take, and after the conversation, all of a sudden, in your email, on your social media feed, that exact hotel or destination shows up? It's crazy, right? Let me ask you this. How many of you have heard of AI? How many of you get excited when you hear those letters? How many of you get terrified when you hear those letters? How many of you have absolutely no clue what AI even is? Tonight, we're answering all your questions. What is AI? Is it a trick? Can it replace me? How much should I be paying for it? Technology, folks, is no longer coming. It's here. It's everywhere, and it's changing every single thing. Tonight, we confront the uncomfortable truth. Leadership has changed. The question is, have you? In a world fueled by AI, driven by data, and accelerated by algorithms, the leaders who cling to outdated mindsets are not just behind, they're being left behind. And while some leaders are still asking, should I get involved with AI? Others are waking up to a much deeper question. How do I lead responsibly in a world where what's real can be replicated, where what's fake can be weaponized, and what's fast can be fatal? But hear me very clearly, folks. Technology is not the threat. Complacency is. Artificial intelligence is not coming for your job. Mediocrity is. Automation is not replacing leadership. It's revealing whether you've actually been leading or simply managing. Digitization did not erase value. It exposed the places where value was never created to begin with. And here's another truth, leaders. Being tech savvy will not save you alone if you're not team savvy. Some leaders are charging ahead with automation while their people are quietly burning out, breaking down, or checking out. There needs to be a balance, and that's why tonight is so critical. Because if you push tech without purpose, you may win the moment, but I guarantee you will lose the movement. On the other hand, if you avoid or disregard technology altogether, you are staring down the barrel of irrelevance. So to help us navigate these uncharted waters, we've invited a true digital age thought leader, visionary, wealth builder, educator, and strategist, my friend and personal business coach, Mrs. Keishel Davis, to help us separate the hype from the help, the threat from the throne, and the noise from the next level. This isn't just about keeping up. It's about showing up with intelligence, intention, and integrity. This is the Rundown on Leadership, where we talk real leadership with real people. So as usual, grab your pen and paper, share the link, refresh your beverage, and let's dive in. Your breakthrough is on the other side of this break, so stay close, everyone. Your leadership legacy continues when we come back.
Hey, ladies, where's the Dave? Oh, okay, thanks.
Greg, what's up?
Ready, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
You up?
He's meditating. You gotta give him at least an hour.
All right, well, I can wait. I ain't got nothing to do. Been finish, I say, now on to independence.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lapinder.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Welcome back to the Rundown on Leadership, and here to help me run it down tonight is my friend and tech genius, Mrs. Keishel Davis. Keishel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
You are
tech
welcome.
Genius, that's kind
Tech
of
genius, man, Keishel. We're going all the way there tonight because
tech
listen.
lover, tech geek. Yeah.
Okay, let's reframe that. Let's reframe that. Tech lover, tech geek, all knower of all things tech. I can go with that still. Keishel, we have a tall order tonight and a near impossible task. They want me and you, they want me and you, us, to have a conversation about AI and technology in 1 hour.
Listen.
Keishel, what we can do?
Listen.
We can figure it out.
We can do something. We can give them something in an hour.
Yes, we will figure this out.
Not enough, though.
I believe, Keishel, that the reason that this show is so important is because we have an opportunity right now to help people understand what most people are fearful of.
Yeah.
Right? And I say all the time that you're only fearful of what you misunderstand.
Yes.
Right? So with that in mind, Keishel, when you think of what AI and technology actually is, let's dive right into this conversation. This is the rundown where all of our conversations tie right back into leadership.
Yeah.
No matter what we're talking about, no matter who we're talking to, we realize that anything and everything begins with leadership.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, what do you say, Keishel, to the leader who is unaware of, unprepared to, does not understand the complexities and the dynamics of technology? How is this individual able to lead their team successfully?
That's a heavy question right off the bat. When I think of that leader who is, unaware, unsure, maybe resistant to AI, it's really having the frame of mind to, one, pause and recognize that we are in the era, an age of AI. This is not a tool that is forthcoming or people are talking about as coming. This is a tool that is actually here and is actually your team is perhaps, and I know this with full certainty because I work with teams, is perhaps using AI right now in some way, shape, or form. And so if you as a leader have resisted it or have become unaware or still cannot say you know what it is or still cannot say that you've begun to look into it, then you already behind.
Wow. If you as the leader are not prepared to understand that members of your team are already using AI, already tapped into it, have already explored it, then you are behind the 8 ball.
They're behind the 8 ball.
Wow.
Absolutely. Because when you think of how the expectations of people now, the expectations of clients, of customers, we are in the age of speed.
Yeah.
We are in the age of really getting things done quickly. With speed, that requires now tools and technologies. Now, of course, we've had technology for a long time. I've been teaching tech for, I know I look 20, but for 20 years, I've been teaching tech. And so we've always had tools to help us. But when you think now this new tool that we've been blessed with, I would say, it's really one that will help us to speed up our output and increase our productivity. And if you're a leader who are not looking at ways to speed up output, increase productivity, enhance performance, then again, you are not looking at really the bigger picture of how do you now continue to move your team forward in a faster, smarter, and better way, which is what I always like to say when it comes to talk on technology.
Faster, smarter, better.
Yeah.
Not replacement.
Not replacement.
Not doing away with. Becoming faster, more efficient.
Reinvention almost.
Reinvention, right? Becoming smarter, becoming faster, becoming better. None of those things in their own right are damnation.
No.
They are going to be elevation. They lead to elevation, innovation, creativity. What are some of the most dangerous signs, Keisha, that leaders what are some of the most dangerous signs that a leader is stuck where they were versus trying to get where they should be?
So when you think of tech as a whole, right? AI, we can dive into it, but when you find leaders who are still doing it the old way, and the old way is even from a place of producing reports from, and this may seem really simple, but I see it all the time, even when I teach Microsoft Office and those, not even just AI. People who are producing reports from scratch, from a blank page.
Like writing it down.
Yeah.
Starting in Microsoft Word, blank canvas.
With technology now, there's no need to do that.
Absolutely no need.
There's no need. And then when you think of, okay, yeah, that's simple. How long does it take you to start from scratch and to produce a report? And how long what does that output cost you, the time it takes for that output to cost you, versus being able to produce that report from a draft that, in this case, AI writes, or even Microsoft now have tools where you don't have to start from scratch. How much time does it save you? And then the question that I always ask leaders, professional employees is, what will you do? What can you do with that extra time? And the truth be told, all of us can do so much more with that extra time, but it is being sucked up with behaviors or activities or actions that now a computer should be able to do for us.
The mundane is still existent when it should have been gone long ago.
Absolutely.
My prayer last night, Keisha, was I said, Lord, if you could please just between me and you, create something where or just me, I get 48 hours and 24 hours.
Listen.
If you could just give me 2 days in one, I promise you I can waste no more time.
But I think when you think of technology now and the age of AI, yes, we cannot, legitimately give you 48 hours and 24 hours. But I think of me as a leader of a company and as a leader of teams, the amount of output that I'm able to produce now,
unimaginable,
in the short time with AI as a tool is so good, because I am already beforehand. Let me use myself as an example. I produce reports, I lead teams, I coach clients, all of these things. And ordinarily, I would have to wait until the week is ending to finish off the week. With now AI, I can go into ChatGPT, for example, and I can say, okay, this is my month, right? This is my entire month. Yes, and I have an assistant who provides that support as well. But I can now go into AI and say, hey, this is my calendar for the month. Help me execute on what that needs to happen. And so I am in week 1, and my AI tool is in week 4. Already drafting everything that needs to be done. How much time does that save you? And not only time, but mental space, mental bandwidth. That to me is more valuable than the actual physical time.
Here's what I tell my clients, Keisha. I tell my clients that time management is a myth.
Yes, it is.
You need to manage your energy. Where are you putting your energy? Where you're exhausting energy, where you're using energy every day. When you utilize your energy effectively, time becomes an infinite resource.
Absolutely.
As oxymoronic as that may sound, when you utilize your energy efficiently, your time becomes abundant. Right?
Absolutely.
And so when you find those leaders, Keisha, that have adapted and adopted, but are leaving their team members behind, right? They are full gung-ho, baby out with the bath water. They're like, look, Miriam, get it together, or you gone? Whether they're saying that indeed or just an action. What do you say to those leaders that we need to caution them about as well?
I love what you said at the beginning of this show, and I think that is, first of all, the foundation of it. It's not just being tech savvy, it's being team savvy.
Yes.
Because the truth be told, yes, I love tech savvy leaders. I love them because, you know, I get to geek out with them.
Yes.
And if they are not passing off that excitement, that knowledge to their team, then they're going to still become frustrated because they are driven by tech and their team is being left behind. And that could be mean so many ways, where they've not been trained, they don't know the tool that the leader is using. That creates a level of frustration, and we know what frustration does on the job, right? It can be disengagement, people begin to leave, or just be frustrated and they don't get the work done, which in turn go back onto the leader itself. And so it has to be where the leader is excited, that excitement is passed on to the employees, and of course this is my field, so I have to say it. You have to then train your teams, right? AI and technology will be here forever. And the tools will change. And so you not only need to train them once, but train them consistently. I had a conversation with a client or company yesterday or today, one day. These days go by fast. And they were talking about how they are in this age of upskilling their entire company just because they realized that while they would have trained their staff however many years ago, they realized that there is this resistance again when they introduce new technology. And that is really a result of lack of training, because it's realizing that technology is moving fast, and unless you are one who really like geek out on technology like me, you want to be able to have times and places where you get your team up to speed with the technology so they can be as excited as you. And most importantly, so that they can produce the output that you want them to produce.
I think that's where leaders and employees, they get caught up in the why and the how versus what it's going to result in, right? When you invest in your team members, they invest in you. That is the bottom line. And if a team member realizes that they themselves become more efficient by utilizing a tool, it's just like when you give them the to-do list or the platform that you make your sales calls in, or you do your administration notes in. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. It's a tool that will create efficiency, create better productivity, and reduce the margin of error. Right?
It's not a threat.
It's not a threat.
It's really getting them to see, or getting leaders to see, it's not a threat, it's a tool. Now, are there some interesting ways people are using AI and technology? Yes. And there have always been interesting ways.
Yes, always.
People have used
This is nothing new under the sun. People have been crooked from time immemorial. Abel, which one it is? Cain kill Abel, one of them. One of them killed the next one, and there was wickedness from time. So that's AI and technology is not going to create you know, crooked people or wicked people. But wherever that exists, it's your job as a leader as well to mitigate those risks. And we'll talk about that a bit later on in the show. But Keisha, what do you say to leaders? How do we ensure our push toward digital transformation does not outpace our team's capacity to adopt and adapt?
I'm going to answer that question, but I want to say one thing that I think we should begin to do as leaders, as a country as well. Dubai just announced, and I get AI news literally every day, all day sometimes on my phone. And I don't read them all because it's overwhelming, but I scan them. And they just announced AI education as mandatory from kindergarten all the way up.
Grade 12, wow.
When you think of that, that is what leaders should be doing, yes, in our country, but also thinking proactively, even in companies, where how can they make sure that this AI literacy is built into their performance reviews, built into their conversations, because AI literacy is now a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing.
It's a thing, because there's so many factors that you want to keep in mind when it comes to AI, and knowing what is real, what is wrong, what is right. And it's really just helping those leaders to see or ask themselves the question, how can I have the conversation with my teams? How can I set the right AI policies, which is a critical part of this conversation as well when we think of leaders in organizations. And so being able to know that this is the work that they need to begin doing now.
Now, Kishel, so much so that I had in the last, I would say maybe 2 months, I've had several, we call them sales calls, discovery calls, organizations. And 3 of these organizations asked me outright, are you certified or adept in AI? And when I could say yes to them, it was as almost as, you know what, that's all right, send us the invoice. We can hook you up. It's a requirement now to not only lead, but to do business.
Absolutely.
And these people, Keisha, want us to have this conversation in 1 hour. We only about 10 minutes in, and for Lord's sake. Anyway, we are going to take this opportunity to take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed the Rundown on Leadership. We want you to take a minute, use the restroom, get refreshed. We are coming right back to continue our conversation. This is Leadership in a Digital Age. Stay close. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for the hardest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNet Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
The new stuffed crust cheddar flavor has a taste you'll enjoy.
Outside and inside.
With a delicious stuffed crust covered in irresistible cheddar flavor. Come and try the new stuffed crust cheddar flavor only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men and how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome back to the Rundown on Leadership. Kishelle, let's shift gears for a quick moment. Let's talk specifically about artificial intelligence. Please explain to our audience tonight, Kishelle, what exactly is artificial intelligence or AI?
Yeah. So AI, in its simplest definition, is really the use of machines to do human work or human actions, right? That's really what it is. And, you know, when you think of that simple term, while AI has now become the buzz in the last, I would say now 3-4 years, we have been using machines to do human work for a very, very long time. So it's not a new concept. It's just become so concentrated and so new based on the OpenAI's ChatGPT. Which is that type of AI now where we could, as humans, can interact with the machine and we can have a conversation with the machine. However, AI, artificial intelligence, machines doing human work have been around for a very long time.
A very long time. The best example I have, or not example, but the thought I get is my grandmother is a baker. She's been baking for like 80 years now, right? And we bought her a mixer one time. And my Grammy say, get this blasphemy out my kitchen. This thing from the devil. I know about kneading dough each side on 99 times on each side. But as she got older, she realized, wait now, I can't do the same work that I used to do. Perhaps a machine can. She called me one day, this is during COVID, baby, where you get a mixer from? Go buy one of them and bring it, let me test it, right? She realized that the mixer or machine could do what she's been doing all of her life and still produce the same quality, if not better, right?
Absolutely.
Because her concern, like most leaders and employees, Kishelle, was that if I don't put my hand in it, it may not be the same. Her concern was that my customers have become accustomed to Miss Mackey's this and so and so, and if she didn't do it, perhaps they would be able to tell, they'd know that she was the machine. But she tested it herself and realized, wait now, this I could do 4 loaves in 1 hour versus 1 in 1 day, you know what I mean? So when we explore, Kishelle, then, the fear that comes along with AI and its usage, where does that fear come from? And what's your perspective on whether AI is a threat to leadership or a tool for its elevation?
Well, I'll answer the last question first. It's a tool for elevation, right? It's not a threat, it's a tool, just like any other tool. Now, where does the fear come from? Really and truly, from my experience and from just my studies and just consistent research on AI, but even without the research, I've been teaching tech for so long, and I always say, when someone says to me they are afraid of the tool, the tech, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, all of the tech tools, and I ask them, how well do you know it? They do not know it.
At all.
And so the fear of AI in this case, this tool, I think number one comes from their lack of knowledge of the tool, right? Especially if they are just listening to, widespread comments, you will find that people have lots of negative things to say about the tool because, again, we have the deep fakes, we have all of the negative sides of AI that's really common and very popular out there. And so it's easy to kind of latch on to a negative thought and then say, okay, I'm afraid of it, I'm not taking the time to learn it. The other fear the other fear is really that replacement, right? AI is going to replace me. Now, let's be real. When I first heard of ChatGPT and started to play with ChatGPT, specifically that tool, I thought the same thing. Like, what is this? I've been teaching tech for so long. I don't need to teach tech anymore because now you can just tell, and with Microsoft Copilot AI, Microsoft's AI, same thing. Do I need to teach Excel anymore when Copilot is literally a button in the software? And once I got over that, first of all, to leaders, get over that fear and start to move forward and explore the tool. Because the more I began to explore the tool, as a techie, I began to realize, wow, first of all, it's a tool not meant to replace. It's to really amplify my knowledge and expertise. It's to amplify my productivity. It's to amplify my output. And I began to then look at how can I reinvent myself and my role within my business with this tool. So not looking at it as a replacement, it's how can I reinvent myself? And a lot of leaders in organizations and employees need to begin thinking from that place of how can I reinvent myself? How can I future-proof myself? Because the truth be told, the jobs are changing. Whether AI is here or not, the jobs are changing. I've been in HR for a long time, and we've been talking about that term future-proofing for a long time now.
Long time. The future's here. The future's now the past.
Exactly.
Wow.
And so it's that form of future-proofing and that action of looking at what are the tools and skills that I need today is something we need to embrace. And that focus on future-proofing is something that we all should be doing, whether AI is here or not.
Or not. I frame it this way, Kishelle. Okay, let's be very real. Whether you're a female or male, there are things that you were born with. Hear me in the spirit. This children's TV, so we ain't getting, you know? But there were things that you were born with, and there are things that you were not born with.
Yes.
Right? And every so often, you go as a lady to the hairdresser, and you get your hair done. You put on your eye wig, my mommy would say. But gentlemen, you go to the barber, you get your fresh shape up, you get your little line up going on. That is not a replacement to who you are. It enhances who you are. And these systems do the exact same thing. They enhance processes. They make things more efficient. They allow for you to be a better version of who you were born when you were born. So when you think about it, leaders, employees, young people, old people, if you adapt to this system, and adapt to what it's meant to do for you, you will be better.
Absolutely.
Many of you females, I'll say this, can't leave home with your lash off.
Listen.
If you're lashing on, you ain't feel fully dressed. So why is it that you can't adapt to a platform and a system that will help you to get to a better version of you? It's the same concept. They may be apples and oranges in your mind, but the theory, what I'm saying is that if you adapt, if you embrace, right, you will not be replaced. Failure to embrace will certainly result in...
And I love that. I always love that analogy. And when we think of leaders, particularly, here's what it cannot replace, even if it tries. It cannot replace vision. It cannot replace empathy. It cannot replace team energy and mission of your company. You have to bring that.
Every single day.
Every single day. The tool is not going to replace that. It cannot. Can you use the tool to amplify how you communicate? Yes. And wouldn't you want to use the tool to amplify how you communicate and how you relate that vision to your team? Absolutely. So, you know, when we think of replacement, we really have to look at what I bring as a human, not even just a leader, as a human, and then, of course, a leader, to the table and ask, can it replace? AI is, and, you know, I do a lot of studies, and they say, of course, AI is passing, you know, these tests, the bar exam and all of these exams faster and better than humans, and I get that. And, of course, there's discussion and debate around that, too. I always say, though, we are more intelligent than AI. And I will maintain that stance. And so as leaders, we have to recognize that we bring the creativity, we bring the insight and the new ideas to the tool, and then the tool is supposed to execute on the vision, the energy, the excitement, all of the things that you as a human bring. You get the tool to amplify that.
I think this is where the leader has to now tap into what they bring to the table every day, religiously, unequivocally, because you could have a new platform, a new system, a new tool, but unless you know how to use, what to put into that tool, how to manipulate it, how to engage it, it still is just a tool.
It's just a tool.
Right? And you're still just the person trying your best to grasp onto it.
And you have the intelligence that you, and I use my ChatGPT every day, Copilot every day. And the way that I have trained it now to perform for me, and there's a way that you train the tools to execute on your behalf. The way that I've trained it where I can just drop something, a word or a photo or just a voice note into my AI tool, and it executes in an exact way that I want it to execute. Where did that execution idea, where did those instructions come from? They came from me. They came from my 20 years of training and background and real world knowledge. So again, it's you putting your insights, your expertise, your education into the tool and training it to work the way you want it to work.
Okay, so Kishel, I have a little idea here. I want us to get really practical for our audience today, because I think no matter how much we explain this will still feel like this. You talking alien language, I don't understand you. Okay, so AI is not ChatGPT. No. ChatGPT is in a form of
one of the many tools of AI.
But it's one of the more popular and most widely used tools in AI, from AI. Keisha, let's talk through a quick example of what a leader can do. Let's make it very, very local to our current regime, our current realities here in the country. Let's just say now, a leader is someone with 15 years experience. They have a business they just opened 4 years ago. They have, actually no, I am a manager in a bank, right? I have now 6 members, loan officers on my team. 3 of them are from baby boomer, and 2 of them are millennials, 1 is a Gen Z. Everybody's sharp, but they ain't on the same page. We are having conflict on this team. I am a 47-year-old man with 2 children. I'm a divorced man. I believe that sense comes from experience, not from classroom and fancy book. Okay?
Absolutely.
How do I take that reality, that lived reality? I've also been a banker from I was 17 years old. So all I know about is AS400 and green screen.
That's some time ago.
That's a real life example right now. Somebody's facing, somebody just perch up. Oh Lord, he's talking about me. How do we help this individual, Kishel, with the use of just one of the AI tools in ChatGPT?
So I'm going to use ChatGPT because that is the widely known tool. There are thousands of AI tools, right? So ChatGPT, Copilot, those are the ones that I love to play with, but I explore tools all day, every day. You know, when I think of that person, and this is that person, and I think of any leader, any professional, one of the biggest things that they can do to set themselves up for success, whether you're going into that company where you're managing the team or not, is to get their morning right. Get the morning right. Because we know if the morning starts off funny or iffy or rocky, then potentially, not all the time, but potentially the day will go. And I'm going to give you a way that I use AI every morning, and that person, that example you can use, and any other person you can use. I have in my ChatGPT a folder called Morning Recap, morning pre-cap, evening recap. And so I've given it a set of instructions based on how I want to think about and process the day every morning. And of course, that person will have its own, because he has a team, he has maybe some projects, all of that is happening. And so I gave ChatGPT a set of instructions, and I say every morning, I will give you my day. And I gave them my day because in a voice note situation, we all voice note
every day,
all day.
All day. All day. Some people too much, for Lord's sake.
So I would be on my walk, I would be on my drive. Sometimes I'm sitting in my couch drinking my hot chocolate in the morning, and I'm talking, and I'm like, okay, it is 7:15 a.m., Tuesday, Monday, whatever day it is, and I give the date, and I literally just do a brain dump for the morning. Okay, today is a full day. I have 3 meetings. I have these employees. They're stressing me out. I have to prepare this report. I have to do this interview. And I do the brain dump. And based on the instructions, it organizes my day for me. Okay, you need to delegate this to your assistant because it knows my assistant. You know what? That report, I have an old report because it knows the content. I have an old report from the last one. Do you want me to pull that report instead of starting from scratch? Yes. Okay, you know what? You need to be thinking differently about this. You need to probably call this person to follow up to see. And it literally takes my thoughts, organizes it, and my day is planned. And then throughout the day, if things come up based on the planned work, I go to AI and I say, okay, this is not working the way it is. Okay, do you want me to make the changes? And then at the end of the day, I do an evening recap. And I have a particular structure of how I want to end my day. It's very seven steps, and I do the same voice note. Okay, boy, today was rough. These employees, they struggled. They were struggling. My boss, you know, I needed to get some details to her, and I didn't get it in time. So, and it literally takes that again, that recap of the day, organizes it, tell me what needs to be focused on the next day, and I could go to bed in peace.
Wow.
So when we think of that person that you gave, or any leader, how valuable it is just to be able to have a space that you can download thoughts. We know there are so many thoughts running through our head and minds each day. And what happens when that is left unchecked? It feels overwhelming. It feels like there's so much to do. Sometimes being able to, I can speak for myself as a leader as well, sometimes being able to just decompress.
Yes, woosah.
And woosah and say, this is everything that's in my head. Now you take it and organize it in the way that I've given you to be organized. That alone will make a huge difference for leaders who have so many things going on. For home, family, work, business, employees, being able to just have that space where you can talk to this tool or give it to the tool, and it does the work for you.
Listen, this is so good. I don't know about y'all, but listen, we're going to take a break. When we return, we're going to continue our conversation on AI and leadership in the digital age. Are there any downsides, right? Should people leaders be wary of employees who get crafty and tricky with the platforms? What about all the deepfake scams that we've seen in the news recently? Stay close. We're coming right back. All that and more when we return.
This year, King Door National Parkinson Foundation is taking you back to the old school. With entertainment by TMF, the band formerly known as Maze.
Y'all better come on now.
Also appearing will be local artist Plotty and the Naked Eye.
And the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Pop Band.
Save the date. Saturday, June 28th, 2025. Atlantis Paradise Island.
To purchase your tickets, call telephone 428-2588 or visit Carey's Fabric and Uniform Store, Mackey Street.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me. We aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rundown on Leadership. We are still here with Keishelle Davis, and we're talking about all things leadership in the digital age. Now, Keishelle and I, before the break, we talked about how a leader can use ChatGPT as one tool in AI to really help them to navigate some of the challenges that they're facing as a leader in their daily life. What we did during the break was actually went into my ChatGPT. Her name was Mildred. I call her Millie when we get a little gangster, you know? But we went into my ChatGPT and I said to her exactly what I said to you on the air. I said to you, there's a 47-year-old branch manager. He's a male. He's divorced. Yes. He's leading a team of 6 individuals ranging in age from 56 to 24. There's conflict on that team on a daily basis. Give me some strategies that this manager can utilize and implement today to make his life easier and make his teams come together. Here's what she said in about 2.8 milliseconds. 4 proven strategies to reduce or address conflict on a multi-generational team. I'm just going to name them 1 through 4. Facilitate a safe space for open dialogue, structured communication, forums. Number 2, clarify roles, expectations, and shared goals. Number 3, address unspoken generational biases with empathy training. Number 4, coach for accountability, not blame.
That's
right? Because as I said in the example as well, the 47-year-old manager was there when he was 17. 30 years in, he relates more than likely more to the 56 and 42-year-olds versus the 24-year-old. But this team is made up of 6 individuals who have the same skill set, well, same maybe goals to meet, targets to settle, but the skill set may be different. The way they approach it may be different. This is a tool that can help you. This goes on for pages, right?
And I would even say with that information, he could customize it even more by saying to the AI, hey, this is who my team is. This is what,
you got Mary,
this is what their
you got
nuance
Susan,
is.
you got Paul, you got Pookie, you got Jerome. And Jerome don't like to come to work on time. Pookie always late. Mary them always going outside to go buy a number. All of these things can be a part of the experience you create in an app and a tool to help you navigate leadership in a better way.
And the truth be told, leaders struggle with being able to have someone on hand to be able to even vent to. And get that unbiased feedback and clarity. Because no matter how evolved you are as a leader, you're colored in thinking about who you have to deal with. Because somebody on that 6-member team is run you dead hot or make you feel dead happy. And so your approach to them is going to be different based on you know, but anyway. So we can go on and on.
But then let's talk now, Keisha, because we've seen so much in the last 4 weeks alone. So many instances of what we call deep fake scams in the media. Mr. Prime Minister has experienced, something targeted at using him as a part of that scheme. We have the central bank has been affected by this. What do we do as leaders and organizations to help to protect the credibility of our teams? Remind our customers that we are still very focused on keeping their information intact and safe. What do you say to leaders and how do they navigate that perspective when it comes to technology and AI?
There's a couple of things. Number 1, there is still something valuable. We talk about deep fakes. We also have to make sure and develop deep trust in our teams, right?
Say that again. That's like a coffee house moment. Yes.
We have to develop, instead of focusing on the deep fakes, which is a real thing now, it's a real risk. How do we as leaders, as managers, as team organizers develop deep trust? In that, if you see something that's a deep fake of a mad, for example, I am, as your client, as your colleague, trust Ahmad so much because I value and know its your character that I'm like, no man, that can't be. And then, of course, being able to have that open conversation and that dialogue or that open access to say, okay, can I contact you to verify? But it's that deep trust where people know that this cannot be coming from you, right? That is also where AI literacy comes back in. So having people now as a whole appreciate that there is such thing as deepfake and having the literacy and the understanding to really stop and think. Is this really
This don't sound real. It don't feel real.
And truth be told, it's going to look realer over time. It's going to sound realer over time, but it's having that pause to say, okay, this is not a Mad's character. Back to the deep trust. Let me go, and this could be an AI. Let me pause as opposed to sharing this, as opposed to believing it. Let me pause because there is such thing as this deep fake. Let me pause, do my own research before reaching out, or before believing, right? So that's one, deep trust. AI literacy, making sure, and that's why, again, going back to that example of Dubai, just training now everyone what AI literacy actually is, what to look for, what not to look for, etc. and then ensure that there are and this is not foolproof, but making sure that there are some type of ethical AI policies put in place with your organization, nationwide as well. Again, we have standards and laws for everything else. What are those AI policies that we can put in place? Again, it doesn't stop someone from fully doing it, but at least provide some type of pause to someone.
Somewhere.
Absolutely, to say, okay, if this happens and you are caught doing some type of negative AI work, what are the consequences behind it? So it's you can put those things in place to hopefully begin to cause people to pause and watch what they do as opposed to running in and believing it. But it's, you know, I listened to the book and I mentioned it on the break, a book called Co-Intelligence by Ethan Moloch. He is a university professor and it's such a good book on AI. And he said, this is perhaps the worst AI we will ever have. So when you think of that, he said this is perhaps the worst AI we will ever have, meaning it's going to get smarter and better and better and faster. And so it's really making sure, again, deep trust, AI literacy, and putting those policies in place so we know we have at least some guardrails around this tool.
When you think, Michelle, of all the experience you have, of all the years you spent training and developing organizations, leaders, people who want to become better at all things tech, we have discussed just one arm of AI and artificial intelligence, right? There's so much more to this conversation, digitalization, the use of technology, all of these things. What do you say to the leader and the employee who is somehow convinced that their experience is sufficient? I've been around for 40 years. They can't beat knowledge, they can't beat wisdom, and they are stuck in their way and unprepared, unwilling rather, to take the plunge and really embrace all technology has to offer.
I think you answered your own question, Ahmad. They are stuck in their way. They're going to be stuck. When I think of AI, think of Blockbuster and Netflix.
Talk about it.
Blockbuster thought that they had it all. I mean, that was it, right? When you think of just how that company operated, it was ahead, but it was also stuck, and the interesting thing about it is they could have evolved when the signs started to show that numbers were dropping, people were starting to stream movies, but they chose to remain stuck. They chose to lean on their big nature. They are popular. No. So when you think of that leader who feels that their knowledge is enough, you're already stuck. You're already behind the 8 ball. And you're going to realize where you may not be moving forward, and if you stay stuck, the people who are moving will be past you, because employees, co-workers, clients are going to demand output much faster than we're getting it today. Because there's going to be a time where there's no excuse for delay.
15 days. Why is it taking 48 hours?
Because the tools, and we only talked about ChatGPT, but there are so many other tools now built into emails, for example. There's no, and even me, I use AI, and sometimes I realize that, well, it's taking too long to respond. And I don't have to, because the tools are built in to automatically reply, or at least automatically create a draft for you. So there's going to be a point where you're going to be left behind. In fact, you're already left behind.
You're already there. I think this whole concept of will AI replace me, will technology replace me, we've heard it said in our space that technology itself, AI itself, the platform itself will not replace you. What will replace you is the person using it. The organizations tapping into it. The people who are investing in the development of their teams will replace you. Because if we look at Blockbuster and Netflix, and now look at Netflix. Netflix has no choice but to continue to evolve and innovate. Because you have Hulu and you have Disney and you have all these things that are right. First of all, the evolution is not a choice if you want to be sustainable. It's a requirement. And if you decide to hang tight to all you know, if my grandmother had decided, child, please, I keep needing this store in my hand 99 times each side, she could lose money. And even at 89 years old, she realizes, even at my age, you need money to spend.
Absolutely. leaders need to begin having conversations like AI is a part of the team.
In fact, at the meeting, at the round table, we have Sarah.
AI is your
Millie.
co-worker.
That's your co-worker, that's your team member.
And I'm really excited for the organizations who have embraced it, where in conversations and meetings, they would say, put that in AI or put that in Chappy.
Yes.
Most people name their tool Chappy because I named the tool Chappy. But that's the conversation in the meetings now. It's not, oh, how long it can take you to do it.
How long?
Put it in Chappy and bring it here. Let's talk about it right now. That is the nature of how it's going to operate. It's not if that's going to happen.
It's when you decide to use it. Because if you really want to create an efficient team, if you really want to create deep trust on your teams. Franklin Butler says it this way. He said, trust is a currency.
Yes.
And when there is a lack of trust on your team, nothing else is going to happen.
Absolutely.
And so rather than hiding behind ChatGPT to try to be smarter or so, end that. I say all the time to my clients, embrace vulnerability. Say the fact that I don't know the answer to this, but I know a platform that might. Let's brainstorm together and come up with a solution to this problem that we are all facing, all experiencing right now.
And you be the solution.
You be the solution.
If your team or your leader is not embrace it, you show it. You come to the table and say, hey, this is what I've been able to produce with this tool.
Yes.
And I mean, there's so